The naval fleet of Canada at this time included like four destroyers and three minesweepers. It's kind of comical to think about, but remember, Canada didn't build a real fleet till World War II. The Canadian fleet
You
in World War
got it
II was much
really?
better.
Y- Yeah, but you gotta really give it to them. This puts in context like how much work the Canadians
Yeah.
pulled in the Battle of the Atlantic.
People never talk about this, but pound for pound, like because of the small population of Canada, we output arguably more aircraft than Americans. Like it was insane how much aircraft that we were putting out, and frigates and smaller destroyers, for example. That's what we were specializing in World War II. But
I
that it's
I
a
remember this one thing of the Atlantic battles is the British were kind of like before America entered, the British were kind of pissed off with the Canadians. They're like, you guys are not doing enough.
yeah,
Even though most of the ships of the Royal Canadian Navy were out at sea for like 90 to 95% of a standard voyage time,
yeah.
which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, the escort duties for the convoys, it really like we unsung heroes, Canadians, like it wasn't large vessels that were escorting the convoy successfully. It was literally like frigates and destroyers, and that's why
And corvettes.
Corvettes, Canada exclusively went into building these smaller ships. They streamlined it for the convoy duty, and no one talks about that, but yeah. The Canadian Air Force, a little bit more robust, had about 1,000 personnel, 84 combat aircraft, alongside about another, like for a total of 189 like aircraft. But
At least much better.
I mean, it's not great, but and they could probably pull in about 20 plus like every month of the war. They can build up. It was expected, for example, within the first 10 months of the war, they'd have 13 squadrons. By much more time, this could be built up to 74 squadrons, given the Britain's bringing over theirs. But following World War One, on the other side of this, the United States Army had downsized to an army of about 135,000 active personnel, but they had the capacity to just bring up about 4 million. So again, Canada has almost 6 million males total population. The United States is like, yeah, we could probably field about 4 million. It wouldn't be great for Canada. The US Navy consisted of 100,000 active duty personnel, and by 1935, this would include 15 battleships, 4 aircraft carriers, 25 cruisers, 104 destroyers, 52 submarines, and hundreds of additional vessels, totaling like 320 warships. So, pretty just big disparity between them and Canada. By June 30th of 1932, the American Air Corps had grown to about 1,305 officers and over 13,000 enlisted men, including cadets in that. They possessed about 1,709 aircraft distributed amongst four attack groups, 12 bombardment groups, 16 pursuit groups, 13 observation squadrons. The Corps possessed at the time also two airship and two balloon squadrons. This is, after World War One.
Outdated.
Yeah, that was still a thing. G2 intelligence estimated that Great Britain could deploy approximately 2.5 million troops to Canada from its colonial empire. During this period, the Royal Navy was recognized as the world's most powerful navy, significantly surpassing the United States. They had roughly at that time like 20 battleships, including battle cruisers in that list, 12 aircraft carriers, 90 cruisers, 100 destroyers, 70 submarines, hundreds of other warships, uh, 232 naval aircraft, because Britain had like a naval arm too. The United States is just kind of starting this out as a concept. The Royal Air Force had 48 squadrons, each comprising, like 12 aircraft, ready to deploy to Canada on a whim. And ongoing shipments were expected to increase that strength, like I said, to 74 squadrons within the 120 days of the potential war. So just like the men coming
And
over, airplanes too.
yeah, and I think one reason Britain also has significantly more capital ships,
Yeah,
right? That is cruisers and above, is they actively did that in the interwar period.
yeah,
During the time of peace, they built quite a few of these cruisers and battleships and aircraft carriers. And the logic was sound. These things are not going to be replaced for 30, 35 years if all things go well.
mhm,
And it takes years to build one.
yeah,
So do it now and then let our shipyards during the war churn out destroyers and smaller ships. smaller numbers of the bigger ships. It's
Mm.
more practical use of your manufacturing capacity.
It was clear that Canada would struggle to defend its territory against the United States. The country would likely focus on defending Halifax and the Montreal, Quebec territory to maintain operational bases for the United Kingdom, while secondary efforts would, concentrate on protecting vital supply routes in industrial areas. The success of War Plan Red hinged on the seizure of Halifax, the largest ice free port in eastern Canada.